Ouch.
Close on my ring.
Ooh. No one's on video. I'm so confused. All right, come on.
Yeah, we just get to look at each other, Dana.
Oh, she turned it off.
Oh, she turned it off.
I'm sorry. We had a going away party tonight, so for college. Come on.
Oh, big day. I got one of those coming up next week.
Yep. So we're headed back. How do I meet?
Okay, folks. Well, I think we're about there, and we have lots to share. And I know we don't want to keep everybody waiting, but if you wouldn't mind, and you're not too busy, and at some point, if you want to show your face during this, feel free to do so. Because remember, I don't get to see your faces very often. There are some of you who were here last year that I know immediately what you look like. And there are others of you that when our masks do get to come off, I don't know if I'll know who you are. So, of course I will. But that is our challenge right now. So if you'd like to show your face, feel free to join us. Otherwise, we are going to get started. Okay, so hopefully everybody has their packet. Oh, this is weird talking to a bunch of names. So everybody has their packet. I'm going to watch Dana for responses because she's going to smile at me and go, yes, yes, Courtney, I got that. And we're going to go through some of the things on it. Thank you, thank you. So one of the first things I wanted to talk to everybody about is your yearly calendar that you got in your packet. We want to go ahead and just apologize now for some of the mistakes because things were certainly still evolving during in-service week, and so much of this had to be ready for you guys. Our first open house, the packet's going out Monday, the first day of school, and then having the open houses so quickly at the start means we had some mistakes. So one of the things I want to point out is Webby Dance is kind of on the fence at the moment. So all of you who did give us great feedback as to whether you wanted to do Webby or not, they are holding off for a little bit longer. They're going to check back with us in September to see if we could possibly do an October start date. So those of you who have been interested in Webby, stay tuned for that. Hopefully that'll be able to start. I'm a little worried if they wait too long, it'll be too hard to do because the way we were setting it up is that it would be held outside and we would be able to do the social distancing with two different groups, a group on here and a group on there, on the other side of her. But I think she's still thinking old school that everybody has to be in the same group in the EDL, and that makes her nervous. And obviously, because we can't do that. So we don't quite have a plan for Webby yet, but we know it's going to be a hold off. So you'll see on your packet, your yearly calendar, it starts September 8th. You're going to hold off on that. That's not going to happen yet. Okay. You do not need to go sign up and get ready for that. Okay. But what she did send to us, which you saw, is a online Webby form. So towards the back of your packet, if you're interested in that at all, they will give you the kit with all the materials that your child needs for it, and you will turn it on, and your child will go to the TV and participate in it that way. So sounds like it would be great, but definitely a different way to do things. Okay, so other things I wanted to point out, our field trips for the first half of the year did affect pre-Ks as well. I know the kindergartners had a bunch, but pre-Ks you typically have Caldwell Nature Center and Gorman Farm. We have replaced field trips with around town scavenger hunts, and Mother's Nature is like Madcap Puppet Theater. They have been getting those performances since 425, the 425 school, so the last building if you're brand new to Terry's. So we added more. We have typically one that happens at 209. We will now have 3 Madcap Puppet performances coming to 209. I think it's 3. Might have been 4, but okay, 3 of those coming, 2 in the fall and 1 in the spring, I believe. So a little something that we're trying to give to the kids that's a little different and fun. We can still have, well, actually, for those of you who are new, you don't know about that, so I'll get to that in just a second. You have your calendar in your folder, so a little something different. This is the same. The skills that go down the side are a starting point for all of the presentations that we'll be doing in each of our classrooms. So when it says language pre-Ks, you'll look at that and you'll think, okay, they're going to be introduced and practice classifying, patterning, review sounds, sound boxes 1 through 6. I worded it that way because we've already done all of this in the summer. So children who are just starting, I want them to know the presentation, the layout for each of these materials, rhyming, prepositions, and mixed beginning sounds. Keeping in mind that if your child is already past that or is just working on that, they may stay in this spot for a while. If they haven't gotten sound boxes before, then they're going to go through all 6 and they're going to work on learning sounds. But if they already know all their sounds, they're going to pass it and go on to mixed beginning sounds and ending sounds. So this is only a reference point as to where children are starting, but there is lots more available. It would be impossible to put every child's individual track of all the presentations they're going to get on this one calendar. So if you watch it, you'll see us go through the whole sequence in every room for the school year. Other things that are on there, we have our All About Me bags first. So you're going to get a little slip in your mailbox. Please help us remember to give you your mailbox stuff. But on here, you're already listed. These 5 children under each of these are 1 child from each homeroom in alphabetical order. So like Kara is the first one in her homeroom because there's no children with a B or an A name. So Kara would be the first child to do her All About Me bag. She will bring 5 things from home that teach us about who she is, her family, everything she wants to share. If she has a collection of Pokemon things, if she loves American Dolls, she may bring in her favorite thing. So whatever she wants to bring as her 5 things, she can bring those in. They will not be passed around in the classroom. They will not come. You will not get our special sharing bag at home. You can bring your own backpack, your own special bag from home. The items will go in your bag, and then they will sit in a chair, and they will show them and present them to everybody else. And the job of all of the children is to ask good questions. So we are practicing, how do I ask what, where, why, when, how, who questions to the child who is presenting. your child needs to have some answers. So for those of you, there are always those moments where you don't have time to organize this sharing bag and your child goes to their room and dumps a whole bunch of toys in it. They seem to have lots of questions or answers then because they're all their favorite toys. Then there's times where you create this amazing project or you research things. Just talk to your children about what's going in the bag, because the questions that are always asked are, where did it come from? Who bought it for you? And how can I have one? So think about questions that 4-year-olds like to ask, and they repeat the same question over. So we'll be working on that. But prepare your child for their All About Me bag. That'll be up first. We will move on to sharing bags once every child has gotten a turn to do it in your homeroom. So how will I know when that is? Just watch for your child's name. When your child comes up a second time, you are now in a sharing bag. You will get a slip home that says it's your turn for the sharing bag, and it will have all the themes on it. So you're going to bring things related to what we're teaching about, and your child gets to share those things and teach the class about it. Okay, so that is our calendar that you get once a month. So to go through telling you when sharing bag is during the day, we're going to go through this daily schedule. This is what it looks like. The rotation of your child is at the top. So one way to find out what your child did during the day is to ask them what they did with Courtney. If they went to the Learning Center today, then you could say, what did Courtney teach you today? And they could tell you, some of them would tell you that they learned patterning. They learned a 2-part, a 3-part, a 4-part, a 5-part pattern. They learned about elaborate patterns where you can go frog, turtle, whale, whale, frog, turtle, whale, whale. And what pattern is that? That's still a 4-part pattern. They learned how do I fill in a missing pattern and what comes next in a pattern. So they did a lot with patterning today. So you want to look and see what your child's group is. Your group, according to your homeroom, is in your folder. So I have a kindergartner's folder with me, so I have group 1. So yours will tell what number you are. And if there's any question, if you're in the quiet room with Taryn right now, you're in group 2. If you're in the children's room with Allie, you are group 3. If you're in the entrance room with Rachel, you are group 4. And if you're in the EDL with Gara and Kim, you're group 5. Okay, so your group numbers are up here, and that will tell you that you are group 4 was in the Learning Center with me in the morning on Monday, and group 4 was in EDL on Monday afternoon. So just follow your number for that. And then how the rest of the day goes, what we have been doing is the children have all been going to their homeroom. So they are becoming experts in their homeroom. The entrance room has been coming to the Learning Center. We've divided my room in half. So the entrance room children, Rachel's, while she's dealing with the door, they're in having breakfast with me and doing Learning Center works, like Palm. Palm's with me every morning. So there's quite a few of you I can see who are with me in the morning. So they work with me until 8:45, or they work with their homeroom teacher until 8:45 doing works in their room. If they are a reader already, then they're doing reading in their room with readers that I have sent to their room. So not to worry. If your child starts becoming a reader, they will still get their reading done in the morning before 8:45. And then 8:45, they sit down and do calendar, weather, grace, and courtesy. That is when we're having our floater come do the door for anybody who has arrived late after 8:45. And then at 9 o'clock, they're going outside, getting their running done from 9 to 9:30. We move their rug baskets. In their rug basket, they have folders that match their color. So the band that they wear every day, they have a folder that matches their color. The rugs that are just for their homeroom, which define their workspace. And they're getting pencil packs that have all of their own crayons, markers, and colored pencils inside a pencil pack with their name on it, so they travel with them. Okay, so we move the bins, we disinfect all the tables and chairs in the high touch areas, top shelves, and then we bring them in 30 minutes later into the room that they will be working in, which is this, this rotation and getting the presentation from another room. And they stay with that teacher for the rest of the morning. They go to 10:45 meeting, whatever teacher they have on that day. So if you go to math in the morning, then you're going to get kinder music at 10:45. They'll get their music program. If you go to Learning Center with Courtney that day, you get sign language. If you go to Rachel, you will be getting the sight word activities. And if you're really young, like new children who just came over or children who aren't ready for sight words yet, they're getting language activities to help them become ready for sight words. They will do that with Rachel. If you go to Kim and Gara, you will get character education. The character education plan comes home once a month in your plastic sleeves. So you will get the verbiage of what we're teaching, what character we're working on. We start with kindness and we introduce our kindness catchers for character ed, which means anytime they get caught being helpful or super kind to a friend or inviting them into the play, then if they get caught, we write them a little note. It's called a kindness catcher. We put it in this basket in my room, and then we read those off to the homerooms and send them home with you. You haven't started that yet. You'll get your first character ed letter in your next plastic sleeve. And then we'll start that off. So last room, if you get to the quiet room and you've had science and geography all morning with Taryn, then you will have technology day, which in your folder are the apps. We have some additional ones. I'll have to look at updating this, but there are apps on there. He primarily works on the Teach Me kindergarten, Teach Me pre-K. There's some math apps that he does. There's some Montessori where the sensorial materials are abstract and they move around and they create cool designs. There's also the 100 board from Montessori, and they practice the skip counting or just counting 1 to 20, identifying the numbers and dragging things where they go. So there's lots of neat things. It is totally supervised. The teacher sits right there and controls which app that they work on. So that is also one of their 10:45 specials. Then they get done at 11:15. You have 3 groups that go to lunch. Whichever group was in children's room, EDL, and quiet room, they eat first. The other 2 groups that were in entrance room on that day or learning center, they go outside. And then half hour later, we swap spots so that there's time to clean 2 of the rooms and have lunch again in the quiet room and the EDL. And then you're up to 12 o'clock time, which brings me back to my initial start of this conversation. This is when we're doing sharing bag. Typically, that was our time to do stories and potty tag in the nap rooms. That is exactly still what's happening. So 3 days a week, we have story time and potty tag. The other 2 days, we have our All About Me. So 2 children in your homeroom, 1 on Tuesday, 1 on Thursday, and potty tag. So this way, if you forget your bag or you didn't see it on the calendar and we didn't give you the note reminder in time, we have all week to get it in. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're not fighting up against our 10:45 specials where I really don't want to give up sight words to do the sharing bag, so I got to fit the sharing bag somewhere else. So this sharing bag has its own time frame. It'll be during the nap time prep time. Okay, so other things on there. The 4 o'clock specials, we have decided those. We have Gara, who is going to be doing pre-K art with your children. Rachel, who is doing cooking, and soccer shots will start up again on Thursdays, and Osmo Day is on Friday. And then Webby Day, if they do come back in, that will be on Tuesdays. Without Webby will be yoga. So our teachers are going to be doing that from 4 to 5. They are going to try to get in 2 groups each week. So because we can't mix groups and we can't keep calling them in, we have to do 1 group, disinfect, and then bring in a next group. Your child will not get the special every single week, so keep that in mind. So as a regular question, you're not going to want to say, so how was cooking today? They'll say, well, I didn't get to go. But they all will get to do the same project. So if they're making spiders for the October special, and cooking, and it's, you know, crackers and pretzels and cream cheese, make it look like a spider, your child will go to do, they'll do the same project until all groups have had a turn. And that's for all of the 4 to 5 specials. Okay. Any questions on the schedule? Anything you've using? I see somebody just wrote that they signed up for Soccer Shots today. That's perfect. So that's already open. Okay, so that's already open. You can do that. Okay. Also in there is a photo release form. We do need that signed again. Oh, thank you. What does Osmo stand for? I don't know what it stands for, but I can tell you what it is. Osmo is a program on the iPad. It's a little camera that sits at the top, and it shoots down at the table in front of the child. So it will say, how do you spell rain? And the child has to pull up the letters on these little tiles very quickly and spell the word rain. So that was a really hard example because pre-Kers don't know AI and AY, but that always seems to be my open house example. So 3-letter words, they would be inserting vowels or putting in beginning sounds, and they use letter tiles. They also have number ones where numbers drop down, and it may be a 5, and you have to come up with 2 tiles to make 5. So a 2 and a 3, or a 4 and a 1. Okay, so, and when the camera sees it and you have it correct, it does, you know, like fireworks and celebrates, and lots of really cool programs on it. So if you ever need a great Christmas gift, don't listen, Felix. You could do an Osmo. Okay, the photo thing, what I wanted to point out on this is we may be coming up with, you know, we're exploring with all different ways to send you more information, other communication techniques. And sometimes it may involve your homeroom as a whole and photos being sent out as a group. So like one of the things I want to be able to do is, as I'm doing a presentation and all these children are working so beautifully on something they've just learned, taking a picture of the group and then taking some individual photos. So once we figure out our platform for that kind of thing, I want to know if you're okay to have your child's photo on that homeroom group conversation. So keep that in mind. Usually if you're going to go on a brochure or be used for anything going out into the public, we will ask you to directly. You never have to worry about that. But anything else in-house, we need this for. Okay. Other things in your packet. We have school photos was also on your yearly calendar, and I want to just explain that. That will be a little bit different. Since pre-Ks is a larger population I may have more people that this applies to. We will not be doing sibling photos, bringing children to all the other buildings and combining them in the backyard to get a sibling photo. So if you have more than one child and would still like that opportunity, Missy, our photographer, who is also our cook, who used to be an administrator, is a Montessori teacher, who has all these little special things she does. She will do Family Photo Day with the Terry's Fountains and Gardens over at 209. You can sign up for that and get your sibling photos done then. If we have too many people who want to do it, there will be a second Family Photo Day added. So feel free to utilize that opportunity, but otherwise we will just be doing individual photos on your given day. And there will be information coming out about that. This is the sign-up list for it, so you'll want to make sure you turn that in ahead of your photo day. Okay. Any questions about any of that? Good. You guys you're quiet. Other things, you have speech and language that is done by Karen Tanbeer. She has been doing it for years for us. She also does the speech therapy in our building. So if you're interested in that, if you have a concern about a child of yours, feel free to utilize this assessment. She will, what we've done is instead of assigning one day for her to come do it and one raid date, she has 3 weeks to get everybody done. She is going to be coming in at times where children are outside. So she's going to have limited times where she can get a whole room by herself with just one child. The acoustics of children in the next room really makes it hard for them to hear um, hearing piece that they put on their ears. And with the spreading out and the social distancing, this is how she's going to do it this year. So if you're interested in that, please turn that in. And she will follow up with you directly. She will have the form. She writes it all up. And when she's about 2 weeks later, she will put the write-up in your mailbox so that you can have that. Okay. You also got the bug spray and sunscreen. I think I reminded or told, not reminded, but told most of you at your orientations, please do not worry about this. If your child is getting eaten up and has a special kind of bug spray, that's one thing. You can bring that in. We have Mosquito Joe spraying every 3 weeks. And we have tons of bug spray and sunscreen at our building. We didn't go to swimming. That's really the only time we need sunscreen. The backyard has amazing shade, so they're not getting the sun. They got it 425, so that's not a worry. But if your child is getting eaten up, I have a few of them that we do spray regularly to make sure they're not getting eaten up. Okay. See what else I have. I get all my specials. Communication is going to be tricky this year, which is why we're trying to come up with that other platform. But you will still get newsletters. You will get the calendar monthly. But the best form of communication, I think, is going to be the texting with your teacher directly or phone calls to your teacher whenever you just want to talk. So they will be calling you within the next 2 weeks to just answer questions, tell you how your child is doing, kind of a little mini conference, not all the academics from all the rooms, but how are they doing? And then get your feel of what you want to know and how we can help you get more information. So that should be coming up in the next few weeks. And then we have conferences twice a year, like you already know. For all of you brand new to 209, our conferences are super, super long. So they are on this computer program called MRX. We're going to send you like 17 to 45 pages of information. Kindergartners typically are in the 37 to 45 pages. Pre-Kers are can be less than that, but it's a ridiculous amount of information. I'm very aware of that. But for my type A parents, this is a great resource. There's a lot of information there. Conferences via Zoom, or we can do them in person. We will set them up like we normally do through school cues, and we will have to figure out how to indicate on there whether we're going to do it as a Zoom meeting or we're going to do it as a in-person conference. Okay, so keep that in mind. What else? I talked about the All About Me, photos, speech, conferences. People asked about, thank you. People asked about, updates for the coronavirus and all the procedures and policies. The things we changed going into the school year was getting time with our homeroom. That is working fabulously. We all love getting that morning time with our homeroom. Other things that have changed, we're getting really good at the not passing each other in the hallways, everybody going different routes. You do know, I'm assuming you know, but they put out that change in the rules that you no longer have to maintain the ratios that they had initially set in place, and you no longer have to change your class size. So our class size is 47. Our ratios could be 1 to 18 for kindergartners and 1 to 14 for pre-Ks. We are continuing until we see how this all lays out with not combining groups, keeping to our own homerooms. We're not treating the building as 47. We're treating the homerooms as a homeroom, and they all have their different zones. So we did not adjust when that came out. We feel that's important, that schools are all getting back in, and there's a lot of fear about that. We want to make sure that we go in strong and stay doing the best practices for a longer time. But when we do eliminate some of those practices that were suggested that didn't even make the list, two of the things, one thing that'll go, this isn't it, but one thing that'll go in the next few weeks are the ankle bracelets. That's nowhere on any requirement. We just did that to help the young children know what group they were in. I think they've gotten really good at their homerooms. By 2 weeks from now, they'll know exactly who their teacher is and what color they are. That will speed up the morning routine and the end of the day routine. So many children put on their home shoes and have to start the process all over again because they forgot to take off their ankle bracelet. So we will eliminate that in a few weeks. The other thing, way down the road, if we could eliminate one thing, it would be the shoes thing. The having to have the home shoes and the Terry shoes. So that may down the road, but it may be January before that happens. It may be next year. Okay. We're going to send out this piece of paper, which is our lead up to our character education program. We start off the school year with a lot of Grace and Kersey lessons, and never before had I thought to send those out to you, but I thought they might be fun conversations for you to ask. So we have taught, in the classroom, they're learning if they want water, they tap their chin with the W sign. If they need to go potty, they do the T. If they are talking to us or talking to somebody else, they are asked to wait. This is wait. And a lot of other Grace and Kerseys. How do they enter a room quietly? How do they get an adult's attention? So send that out to you. It has 2 weeks of lessons that we're doing with our homerooms specifically and reinforcing them when other groups come into our rooms. They learn how to do it in our classroom. So when EDL comes into my room, I tell them the rules of my room and all the Grace and Kersey lessons that apply to my space as well. So we'll send that out. And then the third week, we will start our kindness character education program. Okay. You have your phone directory. There are some limitations to the phone directory. We have, not everybody puts both parents in here. Not everybody puts their emails. Not everybody puts all of their information all together. So, the teachers have access to this, but they also have access to your pink and white cards. There are a lot of pink and white cards that are really out of date. So we need to update those. And Caroline is going to chime in right here.
Can you guys, I don't know if they can hear me okay.
Yep, you just take your off mute. Yeah, they can.
Mute, so
Oh, that's right, because we're going to vibrate, go really loud, so I'm going to mute myself.
Unmute.
There you
All
are.
right, can you guys hear me okay? We got an echo. All right, guys, so our pink and white cards are extremely outdated for some of you, and also our ETA forms that have to be updated annually for state. Normally, we have open house in person, so we can pass these around and have you guys initial them if they are accurate or update as we need them. Starting tomorrow, we have pulled everyone's ETA forms and all of their pink and white cards, and they are going to be over at the office. We will need to see each of you at some point in the next couple weeks to get these updated, hopefully sooner rather than later. We have a state visit coming hopefully soon that we will need all of these updated. We will have all of them over here at the office. It'll be one less thing that the teachers have to worry about at pickup and drop off each day when they're trying to gather all of your students' belongings. Carolyn and myself are here in the office between 7 and 5 each day. We'll have everything ready for you just to come review your cards and your paperwork and make sure everything is up to date before we send them back over to the buildings. So anywhere between 7 and 5 this week or next week, stop by and let's take a look at your paperwork. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I know this summer we did, oh, wait, let me turn that back off. I know this summer we did, different teachers were trying to send out pic collages and notes to their children in their homeroom, and quite a few of the phone numbers didn't work and couldn't get them. And so we were calling them over to get accurate information. So if you could update those, that would be awesome. Okay. As far as staffing, we interviewed some great candidates this week, and we are very much closer to hiring our next person. So as soon as we do, I will put something out and we get a start date. I will give you more information about that. But I know the last time I mentioned I had somebody picked out and it fell through. So I'm going to wait until I see the whites of their eyes and we get them in here. and then I will let you know who that extra teacher is in the building. Okay, questions from you all. You've been a fairly quiet group. I think I got through most of my stuff. Okay, while you're thinking about your questions, just to talk a little bit about child development for this building. This is the building where there's a lot of exploration and there's a lot of great things that happen. If they weren't aware of their bodies before, they are now. The shows that they do watch are animated into the backyard. So that's all fine. My children all watch Christmas, but we are working on playing games that don't include the roughhousing or the tackling. Those are all natural things that children like to do at this age. We are working on independence, getting them more able to do things for themselves and feel like very capable children, which they are. So that will be a big emphasis at this building. As they move into their 5-year-old year, the goal is to become more community-based, and that's what you get from your kindergarten. There's a lot more awareness of others, taking care of others, and not just self-absorbed. With 4-year-olds all the way up until 4-year-olds tend to be very focused on them. So that you'll see that develop over this next year. You're going to get a lot of feedback from your children of things that are going on in the building. Keep us informed as to your child's perception so that we can all be clear of how they're seeing things or things that are happening for them. And we'll tell you the other side of the story if we have it, which most of the time we do. So lot of changes for your little guy. They're gonna get a lot more focused in the product. That probably happened for you a little bit last year. They love to produce work, so you get a lot of paper home. You'll have to figure out what you save and what you put in that special spot, and helping others. It's going to be a biggie of doing presentations for other children in their group. We do promote that. They're getting to the age where they know what they're good at. I can remember Clark, one of our little ones, coming in, and every 2 minutes, I am so smart. I know everything. That's a great feeling. You've got to love when your child feels that way. So we want to make sure that they get opportunities to teach a friend something, a friend in their group, something that they already know. And we're gonna capitalize on that piece. So great year for that. Other than that, you do get potty talk. That continues. Typically that starts at the last building, carries over. So some of your children have already explored with that. Potty talk, how we handle that is if you want to say potty words, then go into the bathroom and don't come out until you're done saying them. And children will go into the bathroom and say all their potty words and then come out and say they're done. So it is a method that works, but there is a place for everything. If you need to spit, you need to be able to sing. If you need to go potty, you need to go to the bathroom, not in the backyard. So those of you who have just been camping over the summer, go ahead and remind them that at school we don't do that in the backyard. And that is a camp-only activity. But those are all things that happen that are normal 4- and 5-year-old things. So if you get that feedback at the end of the day that your child did had to go visit the bathroom to say their potty words, don't worry, it happens. This is the age it happens, and they will get past it. So other questions for you all? Things I haven't told you, things I haven't answered. Nothing. I did such a great job. No questions.
Courtney,
Yeah,
do any of the kids that maybe, like for my daughter that's been gone since March, does she struggle not getting to play with any of her friends that aren't in her group? Like, is
Great
that
question.
a struggle for any of the kids, or?
Yeah, that's a great question. Really, we were concerned about that. And I think what is probably happening is they're going home and talking about it more, like, I didn't get to play with so-and-so today. I have one little girl that says, I never get to the swing area. I'm like, how is that possible? Because when I did the grid, every group got to every area. But what happens is some children are half day, so they miss the zones that they would have gotten in the afternoon. Some children leave early on certain days where their last zone, 4:45 to 5:30, is the last zone. So some of that does happen. But as far as children being in other groups, I am amazed at how quickly they change. And this does not end anytime soon. How quickly they change their friend group to who's in their homeroom. I mean, all the way up through, I'd say middle school. My children have always, if these children are in their track and are in their homeroom or in classes they take, those are the people they hang out with. So this summer, what we got to observe is children who were separated from some of their good buddies. They would talk over the line, because remember, it's a cone that divides them in the backyard. So they would be on this side, and the other child would be this side, and they would sit and they would talk and talk and talk. Other children just started playing with children in their own group. So they made the adjustment. And I had one little guy I was a little worried about, and it took about 3 days, and he had a whole new group of friends. And I said to him, what would happen if you got to be back with your old friends? He's like, hello. Hi. I don't know. I have new friends now. So how quickly they adjust. Great question. Yeah, the social distancing is hilarious at this age, as you can imagine. In the classroom, we've got them sorted all around on the rugs so that they're not sitting next to each other. They're sitting at tables. Some are sitting at tables with chairs, not always 6 feet, but 4 to 5 feet back. And then there's easily 3 to 4 feet between each of them on the rug. And they've done great with it. And then they'll get lined up and they'll be hugging and lifting each other. And you're like, yeah, I did really well all through work time. And then, you can't send 9 children outside in the backyard one at a time. It just doesn't work. So they're doing a great job, but they love getting outside and saying hello to everybody and talking over the line, but they're doing super, staying in their zones. We did notice right when we got our 20 new ones back that reemphasizing the zones did need to happen again, because some children just ran right into the next zone like they always would have done before they left in March, not knowing that they really needed to stay in that one space. So we're working on that a little bit, but that won't take long at all. Okay. Well, thank you all for being here. If you think of anything, holler, email, text. My phone number, 383-6633. I'll put it on here. I'm pretty sure through everything we have been through together these last 6 months, you all have my phone number in your phones because you've had to text me to tell me if you were arriving. Did I do it right? Oh, that says privately. I didn't want to do that. This is to everyone. Okay, thanks. Yeah, so if you don't have me in there, put me in there in case you need me. Your teachers will be calling out to you and will be giving you their cell phone numbers to let you text them if they haven't done that already. Okay? Thank you all for coming. Have a great night.
Make sure you stop by the office.
Stop by the office and visit Carol Ann here. We really do need those updated phone numbers. So have a good one, guys.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks, Courtney.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, Felix. You got everybody?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
turn it off.